Hey everybody, today is January 2nd, so we'll be looking at January 1st MTG stocks. I usually don't do new sets before they come out because the price spikes are up and down, but it's getting closer and closer to the date, so we'll be looking at a couple of those, or one of those at least. And we'll see that we had some, besides the Theros Beyond Death ones, there are a couple of other price spikes that aren't bad. Armor Pegasus is $3 again, I guess, because that's what we looked at last time. And we look at a couple of price decreases. So first on the list is Treacherous Blessing. This is from the new set, and it is an enchantment. It costs 2 colorless and a black. This went from $9.44 to $50. So this is like this probably won't stay $50. I can only assume. But this is why I generally don't look at them. But we're looking at it for more of just the card itself and for fun, so not a big deal. And what it does is when it enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose 1 life. When it becomes a target of spell or ability, sacrifice it. So basically it's a 3 mana, draw 3 cards, and you don't get hit for it until later when you start casting spells. This kind of reminds me of the sorceries that are like draw 3 cards, lose 3 life, but they cost 4. So it's a little bit cheaper and it gets you a lot of cards quickly. I don't know. I feel like the 1 extra mana, or the 1 less mana, I should say, may actually really help here. And the good thing about it is that if you have some way to kind of like target it in any way, it doesn't really have, it could just be whatever kind of target. I mean, this wouldn't work in the sense of enchantment. Like if you even just were to equip it with a weapon or something somehow, or equipment, I guess, then that's the way to destroy it. So there are probably easy ways to get rid of this enchantment, but I don't know if it's worth the resources to do that. So you have to, there's going to probably be a balance of how much damage can I take, and I'm willing to take to make this card worthwhile putting in my deck. Because the problem is that if you play 2 of these, now you're taking 2 damage per spell you play, which is probably a little bit too much. So I think if people find a way to cheat out the way to sacrifice it, then it'll probably be okay, but it's an interesting card. I think I'd rather just have the sorcery that I'd pay 3 life and draw 3 cards. That's just me though. Let's see, our next card here is going to be Eldrazi Conscription. This was the highest price increase for a non-Theros card. This went from $4.14 to $10, and then this is the Ultimate Master Set. The Rise of Eldrazi, for some reason, is a little bit cheaper currently. It probably will change here. But Eldrazi Conscription costs 8 colorless mana. It is a tribal enchantment Eldrazi Aura. So this means it also counts as an Eldrazi spell. So if something says, when you cast an Eldrazi, something happens, this will actually count because it is an Eldrazi. What happens is that you enchant a creature. Enchanted creature gets +10/+10, of course, because of Eldrazi's, and has Trample and Annihilator too. It does a lot of stuff. That's it. That's all it does. That's all it does, but it's pretty crazy. I remember playing Eldrazi way back when it started first coming out. It actually kind of waned me off of Magic a little bit because I wasn't a fan of 15 colorless creatures that come out and basically destroy the game. But I guess, you know, when you look at it, it's like, well, if someone got 15 mana back then, you may have deserved that. Now if they cheated it out, then I guess not. But it's kind of, you know, like back then me, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's too powerful. And of course, since it's banned like in Commander and stuff, it is, or some of them I should say are banned in Commander, then it's still pretty powerful, but that's because there's a lot more utility in Commander, I'd say. They're still powerful. I don't know if I like them. That's a lot of stats. Let's go ahead and go to our third card. This is Imprison. It's kind of an interesting card. This went from 1768 to 1858, so not much of a price increase, but this is on the reserve list. I thought this was an interesting card. What it does is that it costs 1 black. It's an enchantment aura. You enchant creature. Whenever a player activates an ability of an enchanted creature, it's enchant creature. Oh, okay. Whenever a player activates an ability of enchanted creature with a tap in its activation costs, that isn't a mana ability, you may pay 1. If you do, counter that ability. If you don't, destroy Imprison. Whenever an enchanted creature attacks or blocks, you may pay 1. If you do, tap the creature, move it from combat, and creatures it was blocking that had become blocked by only that creature this combat become unblocked. If you don't, destroy Imprison. So basically, if a creature taps or if a creature attacks / blocks, you can pay 1 mana and stop that ability or attack or block. Otherwise, you will have to basically get rid of Imprison. I think it's a pretty interesting card. I thought for a second there, when I first read it, I didn't see enchant creature. I just saw enchant. I thought this was like a global enchantment. So I was like, well, this card's crazy, but I understand why this isn't as amazing. Because, I mean, for black, it's not bad because this is basically more of a white card when you look at it. Because something like, I should know what it is. Yeah. Pacifism. That's the one. It's basically pacifism, but worse, except for costing a little bit less mana. So it's eh. But I will say that it has the tap, so maybe it's more like a blue card because blue does that sort of too. Whatever. It's okay, but I wouldn't pay $18 for it. If it was off the reserve list, I feel like it'd probably be a lot cheaper because it's not super powerful, but whatever. Could be interesting in a Corvold deck though, because Corvold gets abilities when you sacrifice stuff. So it's not probably not worth it, but it could be okay. Anyways, for our 4th card, we have Hellfire. This went from 58.45 to 52.57. So a little bit of a price decrease there. This is also on the reserve list. This is Hellfire costs 2 colorless, black, black, black. It's a sorcery, and destroy all non-black creatures. Hellfire deals X damage plus 3 to you, where X is the number of creatures that died this way. So this is a non-black board wipe. Does a lot of damage to you. I see it being okay in the sense of like if you have a zombie deck or a mono black deck in general, you have a board wipe, not affect your board pretty easily. You get a little bit of loss if other people have black decks, which they probably do, but I feel like there's better. I think it's just, I mean, it's kind of neat. Like, you know, Hellfire, the artwork's really nice. Having that old artwork and little demon man, he's having a good old time. His arms out there. You have everybody burning, you know, the usual black card. But it's okay. It's probably better than I think, maybe. It could just be that it's, since the reserve list is so high in price, but whatever. And it's a board wipe. Let's go ahead and go to our commander of the night, which is Oros the Avenger. This costs 3 colorless, 1 red, 1 white, and 1 black. It is a legendary creature dragon. This is kind of, we looked at a couple of these before. These are kind of like and it's not an Elder Dragon because it doesn't say Elder Dragon, but it is kind of like one of the commander dragons as far as in my eyes, it's one of the commander dragons if it's actually not. But it legendary creature dragon, it has flying, it's a 6/6, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 colorless and a white. If you do, it deals 3 damage to each non-white creature. So it's kind of interesting because this allows you to, with him, you could probably focus on a more white creature deck and make black and red more of utility, and this allows you to kind of do board wipes fairly consistently, I'd say. You can, with red, you can probably do like extra combat phases and maybe get like 6 damage to each non-white creature. It seems like it could be okay, but of course with all the problems with these dragons that you have to do combat damage. I think if he attacks, this would be really, really good, because then you can just proc off that effect. But if someone has flying, if everybody has flying, which could be possible, it's like, it's I like them. I just don't know how consistent they are, I guess. You feel like you just give them all unblockable and call it good. But I do like the dragon regardless. It'd be fun to go through and make all 10 dragon decks someday in my life. Probably not going to happen, but maybe, probably. Let's go into our 6th card, which is our random card. This will be doing with the Mardo again. This is Mardo Ascendency. Mardo Ascendency cost 1 red, 1 white, and 1 black as an enchantment. And whenever a non-token creature you control attacks, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. And then you can sacrifice it and give your creatures +0/+3 until end of turn. So this is token generator plus a sort of way to defend your creatures as well. I think it's kind of interesting. See, whenever a non-token creature you control attacks, create a... So I think it's only creating one, because it doesn't. Usually it'd say create a 1/1 red goblin creature token for each attacking creature. So in this case, since it doesn't say that, I'm assuming you only create one regardless. So it's kind of okay. I think if it's for each attacking creature, it'd probably be pretty decent. It's kind of weird that it is goblin on Mardu. I figured, I don't know, I would have figured maybe vampire or human or something like that. But I guess goblins are fine too. I do kind of like that this sort of synergizes with Oros a little bit, because he has to deal 3 damage to each non-white creature. So with giving the +0/+3, you can technically save your own creatures if they aren't white. So it kind of synergizes a little bit. But I do like most of the Ascendancies. I feel like this one is a little bit weaker, but still not too bad. Not too bad. And as always, we'll end off our night with a couple of random cards here. We'll go to random card number 1, which is Ninja of the New Moon. This is a 3 colorless, 2 black creature spirit ninja, and it has ninjutsu, 3 colorless, and 1 black. And this is a 6/3 creature. What ninjutsu does is return an unblack attacker you control, put this card in the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. So basically, if you have like a 1/1 unblockable, attack goes through, they probably can't block it. This guy comes in, you pay the 4 mana, and now that 1/1 unblockable turn into a 6/3 unblocked, and that's quite a bit of a damage increase. Now, I'm not saying he's good, but that's basically what it does. There are much better ninjas out there like Yuriko and etc. But I still like ninjutsu. I like the art quite a bit on this because it's kind of like edgelordy. Got like little claw hands, and you got a ninja and red eyes and everything. It's just a whole package of edge. That's good stuff. Let's go ahead and go to our second card of the night. Gravedigger. It's kind of a classic one, I believe. He costs 3 colorless, 1 black. He's a creature, a zombie, 2/2. When he enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. It's good recursion. And if you have big creatures that you need to get back later, there you go. If you have a tiny creature that really helps out combo your deck, there you go. Nothing amazing. As you can see, it's been reprinted a lot, but it's sometimes nice just to have these. Even if you aren't like a reanimation deck, this can just be a useful card to have in general. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time, and have a good one.